Hi, my sweet babies. I'm back. I told y'all there's just a couple, just two little Bravo things. I'm actually three that I wanted to talk to y'all about. So let's go ahead and get in to it. First up, I want to send prayers up to Whitney from Salt Lake City and her family. Whitney posted on her Instagram. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure it was on October the 6th. I normally would never come to share some. Oh, my beautiful community, please pray for my angel daughter, Bobby Rose. She wrote on her Instagram stories, I normally would never come on here to share something so vulnerable, but we need prayers and good vibes right now. She said she was taken by ambulance to the ICU today for severe asthma exacerbation, XOXO with the kissy lips. I understand that both of my kids well, I have three kids, but the two youngest had asthma, and when they were growing up, and my daughter finally was able to get off the preventative meds, and because for like 5 or 6 years in a row, every year she was in the hospital in the emergency room for asthma. My son too, a couple years in a row in the emergency room. So he still takes his, but my oldest was able to. But my youngest was able to actually come off the meds eventually. So, but I can understand like that is nothing at all to play with. So I hope that Bobby is doing well. I hope that Whitney's family is doing well. And again, just sending up prayers because no matter how you feel about these people on TV, we only see some of them. But child, when it comes to kids, anybody playing about the children. So hope you are feeling better, Bobby. Next up, speaking of Salt Lake City, y'all, let's get into this. Hold on. Let's share the screen a little bit. A little bit. We're going to go backwards. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go.
Our castmates ever receive like any jail mail?
Oh my gosh, jail mail. No, but she did tell Murillo that when she gets out of prison, she'd like to have a relationship with me and Meredith. So that was like our jail mail.
How do you feel about that?
We did exchange one text on Mother's Day where she said, Happy Mother's Day, and I said it back.
Okay.
But, Jen's crazy, but she's harmless at the end of the day, unless you're elderly.
Girl, what? So Monica had a response. Let's get into hers.
Everyone that is commenting on my page, get over it, move on. You're trying to stay relevant. This is pathetic. You're immediately blocked because you're coming at me whilst someone is laughing and joking about defrauding the elderly. That's something very real that happened. You can F all the way off. It's very relevant to me because it cost me my job, right? I reminded them of all the torture and trauma and harmful things that Jen put them through, and they weren't gonna stand for it anymore. But then you go on a podcast and say she's harmless, unless you're elderly, right? So when your whole stick is I remind you of a very harmful person, and that's why you don't want to film with me. That's why you refuse to film with me, right? To go and say you text that person talking about...
Y'all, now I was playing that whole time. Hold on, because I want y'all to see the next part. Okay, here we go.
Prison, and she's harmless. Commenting on my page.
There we go.
Did she assault your friend or not? What was Jen the reason for the black eye, or was she not? I don't know. All I know is I had to sit there for 3 parts of a reunion listening to it, and that's why I shouldn't come back. But she's harmless. She's crazy, but she's harmless. And friends when she's out of prison, and she's harmless. Did she assault your friend or not? What was Jen the reason for the black eye, or was she not? I don't know. All I know is I had to sit there for 3 parts of a reunion listening to it, and that's why I shouldn't come back. But she's harmless. She's crazy, but she's harmless. And friends when
Child, so Monica said, I'm not playing with y'all. So I get what She's saying, so, Lisa goes on this podcast interview with Sheena, and Sheena asked her about Jen, and she lets us know Jen still wants to be friends. When she said when she gets out, she wants to have a relationship with me and Meredith, which is interesting because Heather was riding for Jen, and she didn't mention Heather, according to Lisa and Murillo. And was Murillo part of Reality Von Teese too? Wasn't he? Anyway, so Lisa says Jen is harmless unless you're elderly. So Monica's saying, oh, so she didn't punch your friend in the eye. I'm going to say this. I can see where she's saying, because I remind you of this person that is harmful and triggering, I can't come back. But now you're on a podcast laughing and joking, saying you had one text with her and that she is harmless. And yet I still wasn't able to come back. Look, now, Monica, the reason you weren't able to come back did have something to do with your actions. Whether we think your actions did not warrant you not being brought back is something totally different. But it wasn't just out of the blue that they said don't come back. You did have a little bit of action that you had did. Right. But I do understand what she's saying. Like, y'all are wild. So I asked Keisha, shout out to Keisha Irvin, aka Color Me Pink, on YouTube. She was on the latest episode of the podcast that dropped on Friday. You can either watch it on YouTube or you can listen to it wherever it is you listen to your podcast. What else is going on podcast? But I asked her, does she think that they would allow Jen Shah to come back? Do y'all think that they would allow Jen to come back? I mean, you have Meredith. I mean, you have Lisa saying, I text her Happy Mother's Day, and she's saying she wants to be friends with, wants to have a relationship with me and Meredith. Do y'all think the other ladies would be willing to film with her? I feel like Jen, and this is from the beginning. This was from, I'm telling y'all, I didn't see it for Jen episode 1. I felt like there was a fakeness about her. There was just a lot of things. Y'all can go back through my recaps from back then. That I didn't really see it for Jen. I felt like she was like a blanket on the cast, smothering, like a weighted blanket that just, because the people, now, the way she treated them ladies in Salt Lake City, she wouldn't go to Utah, she wouldn't go to Atlanta doing that. But she knew that her cast wasn't going to be going back and forth with her and feeling threatened by her. She would jump up in people's faces like she was going to fight all the time, yelling and screaming to deflect. So for me, to see somebody like that come back to a cast, it would be stifling the cast again. You know what I mean? Would y'all want her and to me, looking at her, knowing what she did to these elderly people, Lisa says she's harmless. I bet you she won't leave her pocketbook on the floor near her. I bet you she won't be like, watch my purse while I run to the bathroom. I'll bet you that. I bet you if Jen came to her house, she would only be allowed in the kitchen area because we ain't going in no other areas where I might have important paperwork. So yeah, I think she can be a bit harmless. So, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Would y'all like to see Jen come back? Would y'all like to see Monica come back? Can y'all imagine a cast with Jen and Monica? No, I can't, because I couldn't get past the whole you defrauded the elderly. Because I mean, people can say, oh, she did her time. I mean, and I guess it's fair to say that if somebody has paid their debt to society, that's just like that's just so low. You know what I mean? Like, not saying that it's right or wrong, but you didn't steal from a store because you were hungry or defrauded this big entity. It was like people, retirements and stuff. Like, how are you okay with that? But y'all let me know what y'all think as far as either one of them coming back and what y'all think of the season so far. Last thing, now we know Joel Kim Booster came out and slammed Miss Shannon Bedour, honey, said all kinds of things because he was the host of Love Hotel, something like that, with Giselle and Ashley from Potomac, Countess Luann, and Shannon. He came out and slammed her as rude. He said he hoped she fail, and then said the daughters are basically just like her. Well, Shannon is good friends with Jeff Lewis, and we know Jeff Lewis likes to have his lips in all things. So let's get into what he had to say. This is according to Reality Blurb. Jeff Lewis believes claims of Shannon Bedour being a terror on set could be true. Says he was concerned about her before she left to film Love Hotel in Mexico and confirmed she wasn't in a great place. Jeff Lewis, who's a longtime friend of Shannon Medore, was concerned about the Real Housewives of Orange County cast member before she headed to Mexico to film the upcoming Peacock series Love Hotel. On a recent episode of the Flipping Out alums radio show, Jeff addressed the recent claims the series reported host Joel Kim Booster made against Shannon, as he confirmed that she wasn't in a great place before filming, likely due to ex-boyfriend John Jansen's recent engagement to Alexis Bellino and his $75,000 lawsuit against her. I spoke to her either the night or 2 nights before she was leaving for Mexico, and I didn't think she was in a great place, and I was concerned, Jeff admitted on Sirius XM Radio's Jeff Lewis Extended. So we know in a since deleted post, Joel Kim Booster had a lot to say. So some of the things he said: just because you're a pathetic drunk on a reality television show, best known for a string of failed relationships and a DUI, does not give you license to treat the people you work with like they are subhuman, period. They will make me delete this, but DM me if you'd like to see some videos. Bezos. Then he said, I can't imagine what John Jensen went through, poor guy. So that's what Joel said, just as a refresher. While Jeff didn't have any firsthand knowledge about what went down between Shannon and the Love Hotel crew, he felt that Shannon may have acted out against them due to stress. I think it's possible that, and I can only speak for myself, sometimes if I'm dealing with a lot of stress or I'm maybe emotionally not totally 100% stable, you may act out. You may take out your stress, aggression, anxiety on other people. I think it's possible that this could have happened. I do. I just feel like she was not in a great state when I spoke to her. She's going through a rough time. She could not be responding well. Let me tell you something. Jeff Lewis is known for running his mouth, even about his closest friends. I used to listen to him, but I had to. And the way he would just be spilling his friends' business, and sometimes they would fall out, get mad, but then he would apologize and they would move forward. Shannon could have done all those things, but if I'm supposed to be her friend, I could see saying, look, Shannon is not in a great place. She's got a lot going on right now. Y'all just send prayers her way. But to give y'all specifics, like I spoke to her 1 or 2 nights before she left, she probably did go off the handle, because you're talking about a person who has known Shannon for years and been good friends with her for years. So he's basically letting us know he believes that what Joel said Shannon did, she did. Now, I believe she could have done it too, because I've heard things about Shannon behind the scenes. I don't know if this is true because I wasn't there, right? You would hope somebody wouldn't get online and fabricate this stuff. But in the age of social media, you don't know. But with Jeff being her good Judy, I wouldn't trust Jeff with nothing ever, because he just runs and tells it all. But it does also give us insight, even more insight into Shannon with her good Judy saying, oh, I believe it, because he didn't even say, you know what, Shannon's going through a lot and she's probably imploding. It was basically, she probably takes her stress on other people, because I do it too. Other people, meaning the people who are working with you, the behind the scenes crew. You ain't taking it out on Andy. You're not even taking it out on the other housewives in that way, but you're being nasty to the crew, the people who work for the show, the people you may deem a little beneath you. That's who you take it out on. This includes you too, Jeff. I'm just saying, I was like, wow. Remember when Shannon got kicked out of Heather's house? When I read that, I said, Shannon, I hope you get yourself together. Y'all know they filmed the reunion this past Sunday. And I'm not a fan of reunions. I'm really not. They just make me anxious. Because to me, it's like somebody will bring up, well, you did X, Y, and Z, but then that person is either trying to provide proof or not explaining their proof correctly, and they'll get cut off by Andy, like, okay, moving on. And it's like, no, I want to know all of it, but I know that would make a 36-hour reunion, and we can't do that. And then the yelling and stuff, it just makes me like, I don't know, I don't know. But I have to say, I'm looking a little bit forward to this reunion. One last thing about Orange County. This is according to the Reality Blurb as well. RHOC alum Kelly Dodd shares text from Andy Cohen and explains why he fired her. Plus, she reacts to Leah McSweeney and Brandy Glanville's claims. So Kelly Dodd went on Teresa's podcast, right? And let me see, give me 1 second. While they were, Teresa and Kelly, they had an extensive conversation, and somebody said the juiciest parts were about Bravo. When asked why Andy fired her, Kelly said, I don't think he fired me because he wanted to fire me. I think Bravo and Evolution, the production company, wanted to fire me. I think he probably had some say, but Andy and I have always had a good rapport with each other. I think he's an awesome person. I like him. She then brings up the lawsuits that have been levied against Andy and the network. She said, and then that Leah McSweeney came on. I'm like, they don't even force you to drink. They don't force you to do anything on these shows. He texted me and he said, thank you for sticking up for me. She says, because I cannot stand Brandy Glanville and I can't stand that Leah McSweeney. I just, like I'm team Andy Cohen on that. I just threw that in there because I wonder if that's her way of trying to get back on the show. Lord, no. For me personally, no, ma'am. Would y'all like to see Kelly back? Would y'all think she'd add a different element? There's certain people when they get on these shows, and we know that one person doesn't make a show, but I think one person's personality could be dynamic enough to like spark the other people's cast members and bring them all together to create a dynamic show. And then I also think one person can be the bad apple or the weighted blanket on the cast, if you will, that doesn't allow the other characters to flourish. And I feel like for me, I just wasn't into Kelly when she was on the show. Now, I will say she was beautiful and I liked her fashions and her jewelry, especially in Orange County, watching the rest of the cast, her seasons that she was on. I felt like she had a fresher style than the other ones, but I'm not going to lie. I don't want to see her back on my TV. But what do y'all think? Do y'all want to see Kelly back? Because it's a no, in the words of Randy from American Idol, it's a no from me, dog. But let me know what y'all think. If y'all want to see Kelly back and why. Why would you want to see her back? Would y'all want to see her back strictly to come for Tamara? Do y'all want Tamara to come back? Do y'all think Tamara is just doing her job? Because, there's been a lot of conversation about Tamara as well. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about what Monica said. Do you agree? Lisa, you up here giving interviews kikiing about Jen being harmless. Her actions are harmless, except for if they're elderly, but yet the same way she doesn't make you feel safe, I didn't make you feel safe. That's why I couldn't film the show. But now you're basically saying she doesn't make you feel unsafe. She's harmless. Y'all let me know if y'all agree with Monica and what y'all think about Lisa and what she had to say about Jen being harmless unless you're elderly. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Well, not even let me know what y'all think. Let's just send prayers to Whitney, her family, and especially her baby girl, Bobby. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all later. I've got to do Orange County. That's supposed to come out tomorrow. So I'll probably record that by myself. It won't be how I normally get into the things. It'll just be a quick overview because y'all, we got to talk about Potomac. And I did say that I believe my Real Housewives of New York recaps will be on my Patreon. So I have to get that done too. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. I hope that y'all have a great rest of your Monday. Don't forget to pick and stick with your word of the month. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. See ya.